Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care. As always, I am your host, Candy Washington, and I cannot wait to help you lead a more joyful life. But before we dive into today's Self-Care Saturday, which is all about the difference between self-love, self-care, and self-concept. So these are three pretty, buzzy words that we have out here in the wellness community, in the manifestation community, and in the self-care community. So today I wanted to break down what is the difference between those three things and how we can, some tools and techniques on how we can elevate each of those things in our lives. But before we get started, I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I have in case you need more support. If you need more support in your self-love journey, in your self-care journey, and creating a life that you love, I have the Create Your Dream Life course. That course is linked below in the description box and in the show notes if you need additional support. We also have the Self-Love Journal that is also linked below. And this can also definitely help you on your journey to self-love and self-worth. It's a really great journal. You can pick that up below. And then we also have one-on-one coaching. So click that link below. You can get some one-on-one time with me if you really want to jumpstart and invest in your own happiness. If you just want more free content, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, and also subscribe to the Sugar Pills podcast. And you can also join our Lux Life VIP Facebook group for free for the next couple of months. I'm not sure when I'm closing out the free part of it. So if I were you, I would go ahead and join us now because right now it's for free. And if you love free, amazing content like I do, join us this Monday. I am doing a free Art of Self-Love Masterclass. It takes course over 3 days, and it is jam-packed with just how you can really embark on a new level of self-worth and self-confidence, and it's free. So just go ahead and sign up in the description box below, or you can click the link in my bio to access that free Art of Self-Love Masterclass. So we have tons of free stuff for you guys. And again, if you need that added support, I have courses, books, and one-on-one coaching available. Just click the link below or the link in my bio for that. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I actually want to start this Q&A from a place of feeling worthy and feeling enough and feeling like you deserve to have, be, and do anything you want. So I want us all just to close our eyes for a little bit. I want us to put a hand on your heart if that's comfortable for you, and just breathe in for 4. Hold that breath for 4, and then just breathe out. Now on this next one, I want you to say aloud to yourself, I love myself. And just hold it. And release. And on the next breath, I want you to say, I am worthy. And hold that. See what it feels like to know that you are worthy, to know that you are loved, and then release that. And on this last breath, I want you to breathe in, I am enough. And I want you just to hold and feel what it feels like to know that you are worthy, loved, and that you are enough exactly how you are. And I want you to now breathe that out. And that is the intentionality, that is the energy, that is the place of knowing you are enough, knowing you are loved, and knowing you are worthy. That is the energetic space that I want us to hold during our time together today. And of course, if you ever have any questions during this, if you are watching us on YouTube, I've pinned the link. You can join if you want to ask questions or have comments. You can join me live. Or if you just want to write down your questions or comments in the comment box section, then I can grab them there and read them along. So this is interactive. This is our self-care Sunday. No, this is our self-care Saturday. And we are going to get into it. So don't be shy and just ask your questions and jump in as you see fit. Okay, so let's start. Self-love, self-care, self-concept. What are they? How are they different? And how can you use them to consciously create the life that you deserve? So let's start with self-love, okay? Self-love, there's that buzziness about it, right? Self-love isn't selfish. Self-love is the best love. We've all seen the memes. We've all seen the hashtag. We've all seen people pushing their products. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But let's get to the core of it. Let's break it down to a practical sense. How does self-love affect the quality of your life? To me, that is what I want to talk about. Self-love, at its core, is cultivating a loving, compassionate, graceful, accepting, validating relationship with yourself. This means that you hold space for yourself in the sense of you're quick to forgive yourself. You speak lovingly to yourself. Even on days, I heard someone say one time that self-love is liking yourself, but I don't think that's it. Because even on the days where you don't like yourself, you can still love yourself. Think about parents and their children. There are some days, I'm not a parent, but I'm sure there are some days where parents don't like their kids, they're throwing temper tantrums or they're acting up, but there is still an unconditional love that they have for their children. And that's what I want you to have for yourself. People talk about the inner child, right? That's a part of you. So if you can love your inner child, if you can love yourself, even on the days when you don't like yourself, or on the days where you think you've made a mistake, or on the days where you're disappointed with yourself, that is the essence of self-love, where you love yourself, you forgive yourself, you're compassionate toward yourself, even when you think you've done something wrong or you're not, we all are good enough, but we're also human. So sometimes we don't feel good enough. We forget that we have access to knowing that we are deserving and enough at all times, right? But to have self-love means that you hold compassionate space for yourself, even on those days. You have the undercurrent, you have the dominant belief, even on the days where it's harder to believe it, even on the days where you forget you have access to it. But self-love is holding the dominant belief that you are worthy, you are deserving, you are enough, you are lovable, and that there is nothing wrong with you, and that you deserve to have forgiveness and love and respect and compassion and grace and understanding, just like anybody else in this world. That's what self-love is. It's accepting yourself. It's not saying like, oh, I have things I need to work on, but forget it. I accept myself so I can do whatever I want. It's not that. It's, yeah, sure, I'm a human being and there's things I want to work on in my life. That's okay. But I still choose to accept who I am. I still choose to love who I am. I still choose to know that I am enough. Whether or not I get it done, whether or not I work on myself, or whatever you want to call it, I am still worthy, deserving, and enough. That's what self-love is. That's what self-acceptance is. And self-acceptance, self-respect, self-esteem, self-belief, self-worth is all under the umbrella of self-love. I love myself, therefore I respect myself. I love myself, therefore I have esteem of myself. I hold myself in a high regard. I love myself, therefore I know that I am worthy, right? It's all under the umbrella of self-love. So that's what self-love is. It's having the space for yourself, the relationship to yourself that is validating, self-affirming, that is gentle, that is kind, that is forgiving, that is graceful, that is compassionate, that is all of those things, that is putting how you feel, your well-being as your first and best priority. How you feel matters. Who you are matters. And self-love is knowing that. So that's what self-love is. Now let's move on to self-care. Because self-love and self-care, they are related, they work in tandem, they are correlated, but they're not the same, okay? So when it comes to self-care is the tools and the practices and the things that we do to show ourselves that we love ourselves. So if self-love is the belief system that we are worthy and deserving and we are enough and we can have compassion for ourselves and forgiveness for ourselves and standard for ourselves, then self-care is the way that we show that to ourselves and to others. So what does that look like? Your self-care practices could be creating healthy boundaries with yourself and other people. You love yourself, therefore you know that your time and your energy and your presence is valuable. And so you create boundaries with people and yourself in order to protect your peace and your space and your energy. So that could look like telling your boss, thank you for asking me to work late today, but I can't do that. I understand you need someone to work on the weekends, but I've worked the last 12 weekends, so I'm taking this weekend off. Or I'm only available on email or text from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. After 5 p.m., my phone's off, whatever it is. It's creating those healthy boundaries to protect your space, your energy, and your peace. What does that look like in relationships, right? Maybe it's saying to someone that's been hot and cold with you or on and off, saying, hey, listen, until we have a commitment, I'm no longer comfortable with having a sexual relationship with you. You're protecting your space, your energy, your body, and your time, and all of that. Or a boundary in a relationship could say, you know what, until I feel that we are truly on the same page, I don't feel comfortable moving in with you. Or I don't feel comfortable with this, or this is what I want, this is what I need. It's okay to communicate with people where your limitations are. Because boundaries really is the space where you can love and honor yourself and love and honor the other person at the same time. Because whether it's at your job, whether it's with your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's a significant other, if that person is if you feel as though that person is exploiting you in some way or using you in some way or taking advantage of you in some way, but you don't communicate what your boundaries are, that's going to lead to resentment. That's going to lead to passive aggressiveness. But at the core of it, it was a lack of self-love that led you not to have a specific self-care practice in place. There's a part of you that didn't believe that your wants and your needs mattered. There was a part of you believed that if you spoke up and said no, somehow you wouldn't be liked, you would be abandoned, you would be rejected or whatever. And so you didn't have that in place. So at the core of it, you have to love yourself, and then you can implement your self-care practices. Another self-care practice is self-soothing. If you feel that you're being agitated, if you feel anxious or depressed, or, something bad happens and you're just not in a good mood, have your self-care practices in place that can soothe you. It could be as simple as, I'm going to take a beat and I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to focus on my breathing and I'm going to regulate my nervous system and I'm just going to relax and I'm just going to get down. I'm going to get calm. I'm going to get neutral. It could be, hey, I'm really feeling upset right now. I care about how I feel, my own well-being. What can I appreciate in this moment? Can I appreciate the trees? Can I appreciate the sun? Can I appreciate the sky? What can I show appreciation and gratitude for in this moment to get me to feel better? Maybe you go for a walk in nature. Maybe you do yoga. Maybe you do a hip hop class. Maybe you sing. Maybe you draw. Maybe you take a nap. Maybe you call a good friend. Maybe you call a therapist. Maybe you call a spiritual person. Maybe you write in your journal. Maybe you go out somewhere and you scream. Whatever it is, know what works for you to bring you back to a place of peace and calmness. And that's self-soothing yourself. Like when babies cry, if they're like tired or cranky or hungry, or they have a wet diaper and they cry, and then we soothe them, right? We rock them, we sing a little lullaby to them, we give them their pacifier, we soothe them. So we now have to learn how to soothe ourselves. And the way we soothe ourselves is through these self-care practices. It's through saying no. It's through taking a moment to do what you need to do to reset to yourself, right? Another self-care practice could be, every Saturday morning I am going to get my nails done. And it's not about the act of getting your nails done. That is the self-care practice. Because I know sometimes with self-care, I don't want to speak negatively, but sometimes it can be commercialized where it's like, you need the spa day, you need to get the nails done, you need to get your hair done, you need to splurge. It's not about that. It's not about the spending of the money. It's not about the glitz and glam of it. It's about taking care of yourself with intentionality. Saying, I deserve and I am worth taking an hour out of my Saturday and getting my nails done. I deserve and I'm worthy enough to, every month get a massage or go to the spa or take this time out or just do a brunch with your friends or whatever it is. It's not about how much money you spend. It's not about the glitz and glam of it. It's taking the time out to say, I am making myself a priority. I am choosing to make a commitment to myself that I'm going to take the time to take care of myself. That is a huge act of self-love. Making a promise to yourself to take care of yourself and then following through is one of the highest acts of love that you can show to yourself that it is. Doesn't matter if you're taking that hour to meditate. Doesn't matter if you're taking that hour to go take a hike. It doesn't matter if you're taking that hour to go get your nails done. It is the fact that you put the intention and you made the commitment to take care of yourself in a way that is meaningful to you. And then you followed through on it. Because not only does that show you that you're loving yourself, but it's also creating self-trust in multiple ways. This is going off on a little bit on a tangent, but I think it's important to talk about this. Let's talk about self-trust, right? When you make a commitment to yourself and then you follow through on that, you are showing yourself that you have the ability to not only show up for yourself, but to take care of yourself and that you can get through it. And a lot of times when we're disconnected from our own intuition, when we're not confident, when we people please, when we don't know really who we are at our core, we abandon ourselves. And when you abandon yourself, and abandoning yourself looks like saying yes when you mean no. Abandoning yourself looks like not having boundaries with people. Abandoning yourself looks like being resentful and holding things in. Abandoning yourself looks like, well, I'm going to take these scraps and breadcrumbs that this person gives me because I'm so scared and worried that if I dare ask for more, that they're going to leave me, right? That's abandoning yourself. And a big reason why we abandon ourselves is because we don't trust ourselves to have ourselves, if that makes sense. We don't trust ourselves that even if, worst case scenario, you create a boundary with someone and they leave you, you don't trust that you will still be okay. You don't trust that voice in your mind that is telling you to go left when everybody else is telling you to go right is correct. So instead of trusting yourself, that voice, that intuition, that guidance, you trust everybody outside of you because you have a distrust, a disconnect from your own intuition, your own divinity that lives within you. But when you start to love yourself, when you start to connect to the divine that lives within you, when I say things like divine or universe or God, it's not religious at all. It just is what it is. When you are disconnected from that divinity that lives in you, when you're disconnected from that intuition, of course it's hard to trust yourself, because what is coming from that divine that lives within you is that guidance, is that support. But when you're disconnected from it, of course you don't know who or what to trust. So the way you get connected to that, the way you get connected to back to yourself, is through the meditation. It's through journaling. It's through learning to love yourself. It's through making promises to yourself to take care of yourself, and then following through on those promises. And even when you don't follow through, even if you just don't do it, or if you only do it a percentage, it's not being critical of yourself. It's not condemning yourself. It's holding that loving space of compassion, forgiveness, and grace. Because that is saying, I don't have to be perfect. It's okay. I'm allowed to be human. I'm allowed not to get it right. And none of that takes away from my intrinsic value, worthiness, and lovability. Once you get to that place and you cultivate that, that is how you learn to trust yourself. That is how you learn to know that, well, even if the guy leaves, even if the girl rejects me, even if the job doesn't work out, even if the friendship breaks up, even if whatever it is, right? I still know that I am divinely supported and loved. And that someone else's choice does not define my worth, because you already have your worth from within, and you trust yourself enough to know that even if I do get hurt, I can hold compassionate space for myself and move through it. That the end of a relationship will not break me. That the end of a friendship will not break me. That not getting the job or the end of a job will not break me. Not getting the house or not getting the apartment or not getting the money, whatever it is, will not break me. And I know that if I continue to love myself and trust myself, there is something much bigger and greater waiting for me right on the other side. And that's what self-love does. It cultivates your self-confidence, so you believe in yourself enough to trust yourself. And when you get into a place where you trust yourself, that is when you become unstoppable. That is when everything else falls into place. And when I say trust yourself, I don't mean ego-based. I don't mean like, well, I trust me. I know no one can tell me anything. I don't need this. I don't need that. I got it. It's not an ego-based trust. It's actually a surrender trust. It's I surrender to something greater than me that lives within me. And I trust in it enough to know that I am always supported and that I will always be okay. And that I am always worthy and enough of what I want to be, do, or have, regardless of what anyone or anything outside of myself says or does. That's what that divine self-trust is. And that's what cultivating a loving relationship with yourself will give you. So let's get back to self-care, right? So self-care, again, are the tools and the practices that you use to cultivate and to show yourself and others that you have a loving relationship with yourself. So that's what self-care is. You know, it's having the boundaries, it's taking the days for yourself, it's resetting, it's going on the walks, it's self-soothing yourself, it's journaling, it's going to therapy, it's having a spiritual practice. It's all of the things that you do to honor and cultivate yourself. And you do them based on your self-love belief that you deserve to be happy, that you deserve to be loved, that you deserve to take care of yourself, that you deserve to make yourself your first and best priority. So it all starts with the belief that you are worthy and deserving of your own love. And when you know that you are worthy and deserving of your own love, you no longer abandon yourself. Okay. So let's see. Oh, hi everyone. Yay! Hey Angel Eyes M. She says you are right about self-love. Thank you. Hey Miss T. She says at work but had to say hello. Hello, love. That's right, you guys. If you are enjoying this or if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. Be sure to share this with a friend and like, rate, review, and subscribe. And hello everyone. Hey Baka, how are you, sweetheart? So good to see you. Yes, and if you guys are watching or listening on the podcast, be sure to subscribe, but also join us over on YouTube so you can join the conversation live. And everyone who's watching over on Instagram as well, be sure to join us over on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, but join us on YouTube as well so you can join in live with everything that's going on. Okay, so let's get back to it. So that's self-love and self-care. So now let's talk about self-concept. In the manifestation community and world, we always talk about self-concept. We're like, if you want to manifest an SP, so an SP is like your specific person, whether you want to get your ex back or you want to manifest a new relationship, we're always like self-concept. If you want to manifest more money in your life, self-concept. If you want to manifest your dream home, your dream job, whatever, self-concept, right? That's a big buzzword. But what exactly is a self-concept? What does that mean, right? How is that different from self-love? How is that different from self-care? How is that different from self-esteem or self-worth or all the other selves, right? What is self-concept? Okay. Self-concept is how do you perceive yourself in relationship to something else? Conceptually. That's why it's self-concept. How do you conceptualize yourself in relationship to something else? And you're like, well, what does that mean? This is what it means. How do you think of yourself in regards to something else? For example, how do you think of yourself when it comes to romantic love? If you have a positive self-concept, you think, I am always chosen. I am always pursued, claimed, and chased. I am so easily committed to. I am wife material. I am always so deeply loved. I am always chosen. I am always the one. There is no competition when it comes to me. Everyone loves me, right? That is what your concept is of yourself in relationship to something else. So in relationship to romantic love, if you have a positive self-concept, it's that of course I'm wife material. Of course it's easy to commit to me. Of course I get, consistent, contact from my person. Everyone I chooses me. Everybody I want wants me. Like, I am the best. I am the queen. I am the prize, right? If you have a negative self-concept when it comes to yourself and relationships, it could look like this. Guys only want me for sex, or it could be everyone leaves, right? Oh, of course he's being hot and cold. Nobody can ever be consistent with me. All men cheat. It could be, in the beginning, guys are great, but then after the honeymoon phase, they always, lose interest, right? Or I'm always abandoned. No one loves me. I always have to give. That's a negative self-concept when it comes to yourself and relationships. So your self-concept is just how do you think of yourself in relationship to something else? How do you conceptualize who you are in relationship to something else? Another example, self-concept when it comes to, let's say, money. Positive self-concept when it comes to money. Money always comes to me easily and effortlessly. I love that I never have to work for money. Money just shows up for me. Me and money, we're best friends, and money is always there to support me. Wow, look how easy it was to make all of this money. I make money in my sleep. Every time I wake up, there's more money in my bank account. My money is overflowing. I always have enough money for anything I want at all times. I love money, and money loves me. There is nothing wrong with having money. I love being wealthy. I love the luxurious life that I have. Money is so great. I love that money gives me the freedom to do whatever I want. I love that money allows me to help other people. I love that money allows me to do whatever, right? Blah, 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 blah. That's having a positive self-concept when it comes to money. Flip side, a negative self-concept when it comes to money. There's never enough money. I have to work so hard for money. Money doesn't grow on trees. You need to save your money. You need to save more than you spend. I only ever have enough for month to month. My check doesn't stretch that much. People like me can't ever make enough money. Money's bad. Money is evil. Anybody who has money, they got it through corruption. They got it through hurting other people. The love of money is the root of all evil. All of that stuff, right? That is a negative self-concept when it comes to money. As the more money comes in, the more money goes out. I'm so scared to spend my money. I never have enough. You know, um, there's never enough money. I have to work for my money. I have to work hard for my money. Money isn't easy. Money isn't easy. It's not easy to make money. Those are all negative self concepts when it comes to your relationship with money. So that's what we mean by self concept. That's why you could have a person, or maybe even in your own life, who is really good in their career or whatever it is, and they can make a lot of money. They're super successful, but yet their love life really struggles because of the self concept that you have. You can have a positive self concept about money. You can be like, oh, of course I make money. Every business I make is amazing. Every video I put out there goes viral. I'm money. I'm great at making money. I make money when I sleep. You could have a great relationship to yourself and money, but be the same person that says, oh, relationships are hard. Nobody commits to me. Good men are hard to find. All men are married, or all men are liars and cheats, and no one ever wants to commit to me. My relationships never work out. I keep dating the same person. Blah, da 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 da. That's why you can have someone who, in one area of their life, is thriving, and then have another area of your life that's not. It's because of self concept. Your self concept is, how do you feel about yourself conceptually with something else? You can have people who are great in relationships. Oh, men always commit to me. It's so easy. Commitment comes so easy to me. I'm always chase pursued. My relationships are always great. But you know what? When it comes to money, I'm not good at money. I've never been good at money. Money always comes and it always goes. So they can have a beautiful relationship, but then in their money bucket, they're struggling. That's because of self concept. Your self concept is, how do you feel about you in relationship to something else? But all of that always boils down to self love. It always boils down to your belief system, to how you feel about you. That's what it all boils down to. So if you want to elevate your self concept in one area, it's really not about the area. It's really about working on your self love, because it just means that you have more resistance in that area about your worth and deservingness than you have resistance in other areas. But it always comes down to you. What do you know to be true about yourself? What do you know to be true about your worthiness? What do you know to be true about who you are, what you deserve to be, do, and have? And about your divine intrinsic value. That's what it all boils down to. Hey, Kamiko, how sweetheart, how are you? What is up? Yay! Hey, everybody on Instagram as well. Hello. And so, you guys, if any of you guys have questions on this, you can join. The link is pinned to the top. And also put your comments in the comment box if you have any questions or comments on that. But I'll quickly recap the 3 buckets. Self-love, again, self-love is cultivating a loving, accepting, validating, compassionate, graceful relationship with yourself. Oh, hey, Kamiko says, I'm okay catching these lessons. Yes, Kamiko, I love you, girl. Hey, Young Rich. Oh, yes, it's hey, Miss Washington. Hey, how are you? Yay! So that is what self-love is. It's the relationship you have to yourself. And the truth is, the relationship you have to yourself is the foundation, it's the fundamental thing that sets the tone for the relationship that you have with anyone or anything outside of yourself. So the way you feel about yourself truly will dictate what happens in your love life, what happens in your money life, what happens in your health life, what happens in your career life, all of those things. It's like that saying, wherever you go, there you are. It's also like that saying, there's no one to change but self. Because when you love yourself, you validate yourself, you accept yourself, you respect yourself, you no longer seek that from other people. So your cup is already full. You don't need anything from anybody else. You don't want anything from anybody else. But that doesn't mean that you don't have expectations and standards and boundaries. You love yourself. That's why you have expectations, standards, and boundaries. Because you know who you are and you know what you deserve, and you put how you feel as your first and best priority. How you feel matters the most. And the reason why this isn't, bad there's a good selfishness and there's bad selfishness, but this isn't bad selfishness because we're not doing anything to the detriment of somebody else. So let's get into it, since selfishness just popped in my head. That's where we're being led right now. Okay. Taking care of yourself and putting how you feel. I am so grateful that I am now in a place that I put how I feel as my first and best priority above all is not selfish. It's actually representative of a healthy, evolved person. Because that is what you should do. That shows you that you're healthy. It shows that you're evolved. It shows you that you're healed or healing. And it shows you that you can take care of yourself. The reason why it's not selfish is because we're not doing anything to the detriment of somebody else. And I'll give you some examples of that, right? So sometimes when I am a recovering people pleaser, I'm a recovering codependent. So I used to have a really hard time telling people no. Super hard time. I mean, to the point where if I had to tell somebody no, I would get a visceral response. Like I would get a pit in my stomach. I would feel anxiety. I can't believe I don't want to tell this person no. Like thinking about it now, it literally seems like a different person. But that's how I used to be. I used to be so fearful of saying no to someone and all this stuff going on. And then when I started to really heal and I started to really work on myself and I started to get healthy and I started to evolve and I started loving myself, right? Because there's a part of you that doesn't love yourself. If you are literally petrified to tell somebody no, that's a huge sign that, girlfriend, you don't love yourself and you need to get your act together, okay? As I started loving myself and started saying no to people, certain people, don't need to name any names, got an attitude about it. Oh, you're being so selfish. How dare you say no? Like, how dare you not, you used to say yes. Like, why are you saying no? You're so selfish. This is a true story. You're so selfish. I'm not being selfish. I'm being true to myself. I'm taking care of myself and I'm doing what I want to do with the one unique and precious life that God gave me. What that person really is saying is, I'm mad at you because you're not doing what I want you to do. How dare you not do what I want you to do? So I'm going to call you selfish to guilt and manipulate you into doing what I want you to do because I don't actually care about how you feel. That is actually what's happening. You're not being selfish by saying, hey, listen, I can't do that. Thank you for asking, but I can't do that right now. For whatever reason, whether it's time constraints, whether it's energy, whether it's you just don't feel like it, or it's, honestly, it can be as simple as you just don't want to. That's the whole thing. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do because you are the operant power, you are the authority of you. So stop giving away your power to people who want you to do what they want you to do when they want you to do it and how they want you to do it. And then they want to gaslight, guilt, and manipulate you by calling you selfish because you're not doing what they want you to do. And that is the truth of it. If you're like, well, what does it look like to actually be selfish then? All right, great. I'll give you an example. Selfish could be, okay, say I broke up with my boyfriend, right? Say I was just like, we're done, babe. See ya. And we broke up. And I know that he is still in love with me. And it's Saturday night. I'm feeling good. And I just want a warm body. I just want to hook up. And I hit him up. And I'm like, hey, do you want to come over? Or I can come over there or whatever. And we hook up. We do whatever. And it's a great night. And then I ghost him. That is being selfish. Using someone that you are going to hurt them in some way to get what you want or to get them to do what you want to do is being selfish. How I could do that same example without being selfish would be, okay, I broke up with my boyfriend, right? Bye, babe, we're done. I know he's still in love with me, but it's Saturday night and I'm feeling good and I just want a warm body. How about I don't know, I don't do any of the apps or anything, but let me grab an app and find someone who wants the same fun night I want. Or maybe you go to a bar and find someone, or maybe you have a hookup buddy, right? You can still get your needs met, whatever those needs are. In this bizarre example that just came to my head, it's sex, right? You can get your needs met in a way that does not hurt somebody else. You're taking care of yourself. You're an adult. You can do what you want, be healthy, be protected, whatever, right? You can get your needs met. You can take care of yourself without harming somebody else. But when I want to get my needs met, and I know that getting my needs met is going to hurt someone or harm someone, then that is being selfish. But if someone asks me to do something that I don't want to do and I say no, that is not being selfish. That's being a healthy, evolved adult who knows how to communicate their boundaries. So we have to start redefining this word selfish and even reclaim it. Now, if somebody calls me selfish, I'm like, you're damn right. Who else should I be full of if not myself? I'm full of self-respect. I'm full of self-love. I'm full of self-esteem. I'm full of self-confidence. I'm full of self-worth. I'm full of myself all day, every day. So if you want to call me selfish, knock yourself out. Because as long as you know you're not doing anything to hurt somebody else to get your needs met, you're not being selfish. And if somebody calls you that, it's just a way for them to gaslight and manipulate and control you to get you to do what they want you to do, right? Oh, hi, everybody. Hi, everybody on Instagram. Hello. So that's really what that is. So we've covered self-love, we've covered self-care, we've covered self-concept, self-trust, selfishness, and all of those things, right? Let's see, what else could we cover? Oh, that's right. And if you are listening to this and you need more guidance or support, I have the Create Your Dream Life course. We also have the self-love journal, which is great, and it's also linked below. And you can also do some one-on-one coaching with me, and that's all linked below. But if you want more free stuff, simply subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, follow the podcast, and subscribe to it, and join our Facebook group as well. I'm opening that up for free for the next couple of months. And on Monday, we are doing a Art of Self-Love Masterclass. It's a 3-day masterclass we're kicking off, and that is free. So click below to join us for that. So let's see what else is going on. I think that's it, you guys. That is it. That is our self-care Saturday. We talked about all of the selves and how to take care of yourself. And if you ever have any questions or you need to get in touch with me, just email assistant@candywashington.com and we will get back to you and help you out. And until next time, everybody, take care of yourself and each other and be well, you guys. Oh, wait, let me see if there's any more questions or any more comments before we go. Hey, everybody on Instagram, how are you? So let's see. Okay, I think we got all of the questions and all of the comments. So that will be it for today. All right, you guys. Mwah. I love you. As always, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go.